Welcome back to Today in St. Louis. Police chiefs and lawmakers across Missouri are pushing for changes to the juvenile justice system. They say repeat offenders are cycling through with little accountability.
Yeah, they tell me it's a pretty major problem. And as lawmakers head into the legislative session just 4 days from now, some tell me reform is urgently needed to protect communities and help kids before it's too late.
We believe the system's not working. We need to change it.
It's a problem police chiefs and lawmakers say has plagued the state of Missouri, more specifically the St. Louis area, for far too long.
It's just repeat juveniles doing the same crimes over and over again with little repercussions or accountability.
Lake St. Louis Police Chief Christy Giuseppe says part of the issue stems from inconsistent enforcement, creating what police call a catch-and-release system.
We'll have people that will say, hey, we don't want to put every kid in jail. We don't either. We don't. We want to help them, but you're not helping them when you're setting them up to continue to commit these crimes.
That's why Senator Nick Schroer filed legislation on how juvenile officers use a point system that decides when to detain juveniles.
Getting a comprehensive reform and getting everybody on the same page rather than just one person calling the shots based upon their interpretation of how they should utilize this grading system.
Lieutenant Colonel Jason Law says clarifying these expectations is necessary. He witnessed it as a patrolman in St. Louis County.
You would take them to the Juvenile Justice Center, and before you got done with the paperwork and your report, the juvenile was released back to his parents or another guardian.
It's a cycle that led one St. Louis County police agency to track a juvenile suspect over 6 months. During that time, police say the young kid stole 9 cars, assaulted a police officer, and took part in a police shooting. Lawmakers say this is why the new legislation includes the ability to prosecute juveniles as an adult.
We are becoming a factory of producing hardened criminals from young kids that could have been changed to now they're becoming adults and they're committing these heinous violent crimes.
It's not just kids, though. According to law enforcement, a whole other layer of this is parents. And that's where Representative Mike Koslow comes in.
Because of this posture we've taken with juveniles, what we see is some of these parents who have been lifelong criminals looking at a way to skirt the law by sending out their kids to do it. Parents are sending their 14, 15, 16-year-old kid out and saying, hey, go steal this car.
Representative Koslow's bill would place accountability on the adult if it's determined by a judge that the parent pushed the kid to commit the crime or showed inherent neglect. The parent could be fined or even have jail time.
So what we're looking to the courts to do is say, you look for intent. If there's an intent for this parent to push their kid into this or that they are completely neglectful, but if this parent is trying, then find them resources.
Focusing on those resources is what everyone pushing this legislation believes should be at the heart of juvenile justice reform to steer these kids in the right direction.
Then those juveniles can go on a different path and straighten their lives out. And that's the whole goal of law enforcement, is to make sure that people are held accountable and that go in a better direction, hopefully.
Now, another part of the juvenile justice reform legislation includes adding a criminal history database among law enforcement for juveniles. So right now, they have no way of looking at juveniles' past crimes among different agencies. The 2026 legislative session starts on January 7th.